Welcome to our final video in this series. We need to put everything together now. We have it all modeled. We're ready to put it into a scene. So there's a couple things that I want to do. First of all, I want to make sure that I have these two items together. So I want here to, I just want to group this together. And we can call this the lampshade here, the sconce. Lamp shade, or because we already got lamp head in there, lamp shade 001. All right, so that collapses that together. When I open it up, I can see that it has the head and the power button. So that is fine. Let's move this now. I want to line this up using my quad windows here, just so I can kind of see. I'm going to grab this whole group. I'm in my move tool. Let's line it up, and we want it to fall right on this articulating part of the ball of the lamp here. We could add a little cylinder shaft in there. I don't think we really need to. That's something that if you feel it is necessary, that's fine to do. For this build, that part is going to be hidden in the way that I have it shown in my scene. So I don't need to overbuild it. So I'm lining this up. Okay. So the center of this lines up with the center of my sphere here. Now this is too high from this view, so I want to bring it up. And then in here, I want to swing it around to see how this looks. So in this case, I would be like, if I was building this in real life, I would kind of have that ball kind of soldered or welded onto the lamp head. So maybe I would bring this forward just a tiny bit, give us a little more adjustment, and have that inset into our lampshade just a tad. Okay. So what we want to do now is we want to be able to, I'm going to maximize my viewport here. We want to be able to move and rotate everything together. So right now, if I grab the lampshade and I go to rotate, when I do that, okay, it kind of works. But it goes into the part here. I don't want that. I want it to stay on that location. And if I rotate this arm to adjust the arm, okay, then that is also going to not move everything. See how it all comes apart? And I don't want that. So we're going to use our link tool. We're going to turn this into a hierarchy and have everything linked together in order. So if I move the head, it only moves the head. But if I move this arm, it moves this ball and the head of my lamp all together. So let's do this. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to give all of this a group name, because if we import this into a scene, we want to be able to collapse it down. So all you would see is the wall sconce. So I'm going to go up here to my group tab on top, and I'm going to open up a group tab, and we want to what is my selection right now? We want to be able to create a new group, and it's not letting me do that. Create an assembly. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new group based off of this part. Okay, so this is our base of our lampshade, our wall plate. So in this wall plate, okay, instead of grabbing everything together, because it's going to lock it all together in a group, I'm just going to grab what gets mounted onto the wall, and I'm going to call this a new group. Okay, and we're going to call this our articulating wall sconce, the name of our part. Okay, that way when we collapse it down, we know what this one is, because we're going to have other types of lamps in our scene. So when we do that, you see articulating wall sconce. Under it, the first part is the wall plate. Okay, so when we link things, we want to go in order. Okay, so and we want to tell it where we want this to rotate around our scene. So let's start with the head of our lamp and work our way down till we get all the way to this part, if that makes sense. So when I go on the head of my lamp, I want to affect the pivot point. Where do I want this lamp to pivot? Okay, I'm going to go back into my quad view menu, and we're going to adjust the gizmo for our pivot point here. So that's under hierarchy because we have this and we're making these levels and linked levels here. So I'm going to drag this down to the center of my sphere, because this is the middle of my hinge that everything rotates on. And then in this window, okay, I'm going to click once. So my gizmo selects into this window. The window's yellow. I know I'm drawing in here now. I'm going to slide this back to the center of my sphere. And I think it's right on this line. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so that is the middle of our sphere. I can double check here from top to bottom. Looks good, and looks good. Now, when I turn that off and I go to rotate my lamp head, watch what happens. Okay, it doesn't matter where I turn the lamp head, it pivots. It's around that part. And it doesn't go any deeper into, well, let me see my view here. We might need to adjust it just a tad. Okay, so let me undo. Let's do our move our pivot point. Put it back. Oh, I'm in rotate, that's why. Move. Here, we'll try it one more time. And let's slide out. Grab it. Move it to the center. So that is splitting the group from here to here, and it's going to average out my point for the group. Should work pretty good. Just troubleshoot this down a little bit here and try it one last time. Now when I go to rotate, we'll shut off pivot point here, and we could align, you know what, I could align the pivot point, make it faster, to the center of this. We don't want to click on the center of this object here. Will it let us do it? Center of the sphere, that does it automatically for us. We don't have to align it to everything. And let's turn this off now. And let's try rotating our shape again and see how it does. Okay, that's working for us now. See how it doesn't go into the part anymore. Okay, I don't know why it didn't work the first time, but that's the process that we have. Now, let's link that together. So we want this to go to the ball. We're going to go up to our select and link tool. Okay, so here's how this links. It's not multi-select. I'm going to click on the first thing, and it gives me this link tool, and I'm going to drag from here to the next part to link that together. Now, when we did that, you'll notice it collapsed those two together, and it put my lampshade on underneath the subcategory of the articulating ball. That's what we want. Okay, so the lampshade would move last, and then that gets attached to there. Now, We could have all three of these, the arm and the two hinges, grouped together. That's fine, but in the grand scheme of things, it all kind of attaches one to the next. So while I'm in my link tool here, I'm going to click on this next part, and I have the link tool, so I'm just going to have this go down to the next part. That links together there. Now it's going to go quick and easy if I just do this in order. Now this is going to, I'm going to click and drag it down to this articulating ball hinge there. And then this, I'm going to click and drag it to my cylinder. And my cylinder gets linked. Actually, I can also, well, let me do it multi-select there. The ball hinge goes to the wall plate, and no, I want it to go to the cylinder, and then we'll do our cylinder to the wall plate in that order. So what I can do is I can collapse this down, and then the only thing that will show up if I import this into another scene would be my articulating wall sconce. When I open up my whole hierarchy here, it will show me things in order. Now, why do we do that? Let's move a few of our pivot points that we have left, and we can make sure that everything rotates in the same direction. So this, I'm going to go get out of my link tool, shut that off. I can click on move to just kind of default out of there. I'm going to affect my pivot point for this, and it may be in the middle for you up here. We want to actually bring the pivot point of this arm down to the center of this sphere here. So I'm going to bring it here. I'm going to click on this sphere, and I'm going to center it to that object. Okay. Actually, as soon as I clicked off, it doesn't do that. So I'm just going to have to manually do that. There may be a faster way, and I just don't know how to do it yet. But basically, we're doing the same thing. So we're centering this on the sphere. I'll do it in this view, and then I'll check on the top. And let's bring this over and line it up there. It looks pretty good. All right, so now when we rotate this, let's rotate my arm here. We'll make it big so we can see. Watch what happens. Okay, we rotate this down. Oh, you know why it's doing this? Let me undo that. We have to shut off my pivot point hierarchy. So make sure you're in your hierarchy, shut off your effect pivot point, and now it lets us move the whole arm of our lamp. Okay, so I can move the arm of my lamp. Now I can move the head of my lamp, and we can adjust it for our scene. So this is kind of how I would put it on my wall. If you want to rotate this whole thing, then what we can do is you can grab the whole plate here, and that allows you to rotate the whole thing. But hold on one sec. I want to use my my angle snap when I do this. So let's right click on here, turn this on, set your angle to 90 degrees, and then you can just rotate this 90 degrees like that. So click on this bottom plate, and oops, I have the sphere clicked. Click on the bottom plate, and you have your rotation snap turned on, and it will let you rotate it 90 degrees. You want to see what it will look like on a building or something like that, just throw a box in there and give it some depth. And see, that's inches here, so we make this like 84 inches tall and make it 84 inches wide, and length is fine. And let's just see what it looks like on a building. I'm not that fond of that color. Maybe I'll change my building to, okay, and grab the whole thing now. I can select it here, and I can just move up and put it on my building. So what do you think? So then that will allow you to kind of tweak your modeling of it a little bit. I want to shut off my angle snap. I want to be able to turn that at my custom angle. Okay. And then you can kind of set this to where you think it looks good in your scene. Okay. So if you like it, save it. That also allows you to click on here and you can clone the whole thing because you have it all grouped into one group using our grouping tool. And we don't want to clone just the base. I want to clone the whole thing. So if I double click here and select it, that should let me clone the whole object. And you can put multiple ones in your scene. I would put this as an instance because that way if I change the color on one part, it should allow me to change the color on all of them at the same time. Ooh, maybe I got that wrong. But play around with it, get it into your scene, and we are looking forward to seeing how yours turns out. Thanks for joining me on this journey of our tutorial, and we will see you in the next draw. Peace out.